guess that goes for the 1.5, the same thing goes in in-house?
Correct.
9.5 also.
Yes.
Yeah. No, just a real nitnoy detail, but, on that Nitmars, it says right at the bottom, one officer by 8 hours per, and it says months, actually one insert 12 months.
For one, it's 12 months.
That's cool, yep, yeah. And then supervisor training.
Yeah, the 4th or 5th. Thank you.
And rated.
Just don't wipe your feet on it, okay?
Is that because that's
Put it on the
the
chair.
still patrolman
This.
or when the sergeant they be hired in 51?
That should have been equated out as a sergeant rate.
Sergeant,
Right.
okay. And, I think the actual calculation is another typo. We look at the $4,909.20. Using the 5114 at the 80 hours, it comes out to $4,091. It was you added $900 in by mistake.
It's probably done at the sergeant rate and not the.
Okay,
With
so
a
it's
51.
the math,
That's probably what it
the
is,
math's
yeah.
not working. Tactical training, that's happening at the PD, no travel time?
Yeah, that'll be either local or be part of that 8 hours. So, travel time usually only if they're traveling out of town.
Is this the active shooter, or is this, we're
Yes.
gonna try to get involved with other departments?
Correct.
Number 6, that community programs, that's calculated at the OT rate, $20.
Yeah, and a lot of this is also for supplies for community programs. All that is put into one pot in the past. So,
Well, I think we got another one, and somebody talked about those supplies and stuff in another place, and it's
Yeah.
hadn't come right off the bat.
Yeah, it's another listing.
Another
Yeah.
place that
Whistles
has
and
supplies and stuff.
coloring books. Yeah.
Well, 6 stock, is a flat rate of $2,500.
Yeah, well, what's the other one you're talking about?
That's, I got one,
yeah,
No,
I
I've
think
seen
that's
it some-
further down.
I've seen it
That's
some-
further in.
That's further
back.
in there, yeah.
So that would be for when we have an officer at Winterfest or seatbelt or child safety restraint programs.
And you're bringing on an extra officer for that particular function?
Yes,
Is that correct?
yeah, that's always an extra officer.
On AA, I was a little confused about the, is this, I see some, vacation days. Is this what's projected that they have coming to them in the next contract or in this next fiscal year? Or or is it
This is what they have
accumulated as well?
This is what they have projected coming to them.
As well as
And it
having
creates a worst case scenario if they have to be back for the Wilmington. So
Does it include what they have on the books?
it does not include what they have in the books. But they, generally, we don't know what they carry over till the end of the year. They can only carry over a certain amount. So there shouldn't be that much carryover. I mean, they can carry a maximum of 40 hours of vacation. But that's what they're given each year.
And what's the difference? Is it based on seniority that we see the different allotments for
Yes.
time?
Yep.
Oh, on page 8C. Just the last sentence of the field training officer paragraph, says it's possible the Windsor Locks Police Department may hire one new officer during this fiscal year. Then we talk about two new officers, the last line.
Right, that should be good.
What drove up on page 10? We went up 100%, marine control, OT, animal control wages. What's driving this to?
Really,
Is this something you're experiencing?
yeah, it's just usage. Last year, they did request 3,000, and it was dropped to 1,500. So it's just historical on call-outs.
You're actually using that?
Yeah, you're actually using that.
Okay.
So anytime there's a, you know, a violent dog or anything like that, you know, off-shift hours, the animal control officer is called in.
How's she working out?
She's doing an excellent job.
You may want to just make a, add an additional note here that this represents actual
Actually,
usage, so that when they're looking at it. And on page 11, this is a nitnoy thing. That last computer support and maintenance, and it says $15,000. And then we got the 3 asterisks on the bottom part, and lost Sergeant Balfour.
Right, that's what it should be.
That's what,
Yep.
so we should have 3 of those little asterisk headings up there,
After
but,
15.
so we know where we're referring to. And then the next question I have is dollar amount. Department will now pay for weekly or bi-weekly service. That $50,000, what is it, weekly or bi-weekly?
It's really to be determined yet, whether it's going to be a set contract fee or by hour, so many hours per week.
Okay.
And that's
And
still
that may
being
be
worked out.
something that,
Right.
you picked up on the other
Right.
things.
Yep.
Okay.
We're looking at anything from about 4 hours a week, something like that possibility.
All right, now, on page 14, up to this point, I've been seeing 2 new officers, and then I get to this page, looking at polygraphs for 3.
We have that lieutenant position too, so that would be an increase, an additional position.
Oh, we,
So you're looking at 2 new officers plus lieutenants, so actually it'd be.
okay,
So
so,
it should
but
be.
you understand the point of trending
Yep.
in the document, the overall document. Okay. The, page 15, just a question here, what was, Academy Association's name? What is, just, it's a membership, do you want to post? Or that post, or what is that?
That is post, yes.
That is post? So, you have a membership there?
Correct.
You get to go down to any meetings and ask them why they're putting these unfunded mandated?
Well, that's, we still haven't even touched upon the cost for training potentially in the future.
Right, that's, I mean,
That's all.
if you got a seat at the table, you get to,
We do through the Connecticut Chiefs of Police Association, but
okay.
Is
unfortunately.
that page
it's not
15
being-
you're on, Jim?
I'm
Page
sorry?
15.
I was on 15.
I like the last item you put in there. That $35.
$35?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
About time you took care of our Secretaries Association. They do most of the work and they get nothing.
Others didn't show. 16.
gotta research my own notes. I forgot what I wrote.
Point of interest, you've got on page 14, background investigations, 3 at $500 each. Going back to the ordinance that was discussed for the sexually-oriented businesses, would a background check on somebody like that cost $500?
No, that's something we just do in-house, like records checks, so
Oh,
there is a time usage on an officer, but it would not be a background investigation for a new hire.
Okay, it wouldn't be a.
So it'd be totally different.
Okay.
Just one question here, Chief, on training and seminar. Capital Region Recertification Course, page 17. What exactly is that?
That is the cost to attend the mandated 52-hour. That's for the organization, the law enforcement organization that puts that on, that training.
I got
So that's strictly for the fee to send the officer there.
you. Okay.
Is that
That's mandated, correct?
That's mandated.
$100 fee for,
185, medical, yeah, that's the cost.
that's the materials cost.
The cost actually of the instructor per person to come in.
And just we've got 2 gun ranges here, Hartford Gun Club and Bloomfield. Is there a reason why we're using 2 ranges?
Yeah, just because of the limitations on certain ranges. Right now, the Hartford Gun Club, we can only do certain things there. We can't do low light shooting, we can't do at certain ranges, and the availability is difficult to get. So you have to really utilize 2 ranges with the proper training.
We don't have access to the state police range?
No, we could, but it's very limited when we can do that.
How about the one in Simsbury? We used to use
That's the
that.
one I just mentioned.
Was that state police? Yeah.
Yep.
They used to
There's
give
also
it to
another
us
one
for
on the
if
street.
charged.
Yeah,
No,
there
we
is
got
a
to spend
second one.
$2,500. Nothing from the state. You pay, you pay, you pay.
On 24, it was the business electronics digital recorder. $4,690, 2-year contract. And then, so half of that is
Fire
what we're
department.
paying.
Paid by the fire.
Is that for a 2-year contract?
On the-
Page 24, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Second one down.
Yeah, so are we talking a 2-year contract, in this budget, we have to pay the 2 years up front, that's all we're,
2-year contract, and it looks like we're paying half of it, so.
well, half is being paid by the fire department. So
But it's for-
So next
half
year,
here.
we shouldn't have to pay for
we
it.
don't have to pay for it,
Right.
we're paying in this budget.
Right.
Okay, if we have to reduce the budget, is that a place? we
No,
can
you
do that?
can't do that, no.
Or do you
I
have to
don't
do
think
it, you
this
have to
year
do it
we
at a
could.
2-year, you have to buy it at a 2-year?
Right.
Okay. Now, page 26. This is the, and we're talking 27 officers?
Correct.
How do we get, I know we're authorized for 26?
25.
25.
So this is the 2 extra?
2 extra, right.
Okay.
Well, you have to include the medical,
Right.
so, you don't know.
I think that's just a cover.
And you always think there's training ammo and duty ammo. See, it's about 1,000 rounds. Isn't it, or am I off of the left center field? Each officer shoots 480 training rounds per year, then 240 duty. Then 480, yeah, good God.
Right.
When I was doing this, you could train with a training round, which is cheaper, but when you actually qualify, you have to qualify with what you're carrying in your weapon for the duty
Yeah,
round.
but,
So you have to,
You should be shooting some duty rounds.
Exactly.
yeah,
You know, it's just,
but why can't you use the ones that you, the duty amp for both?
Would they be more
well,
expensive?
the duty ammo is much more expensive.
much more expensive, that's why.
Yeah.
But the
It's probably
number,
3 times the
but the
cost.
number of rounds you fire, who controls that?
Well, there is a certain minimum we have to do.
What's the
num-
minimum, you know?
I don't know the top of my head, no, I
Okay.
don't know,
What's the difference for the person shooting between a duty round and a practice round? I mean, do you feel a difference when you shoot?
you don't notice that much difference, but there's gonna be a different strike on the target, depending on where the weights and the velocities will be
Okay, so
different.
it's a little lighter.
So it's really, it doesn't play such a factor in short range shooting, but I could see it further.
So then you adjust your point of aim for one, really, your point of aim has to be.
I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just duty ammo is probably roughly 3 times the
One
price.
of the officers
It's that much more.
So, took 6 shots and missed. Missed. 6 shots. Chicken walked away. Chicken walked away. Keep laughing. Yeah.
On page 27 there. Math review. On the number 8 there, the Vision Wireless Air Card. Air card, this is $60 per month through the department's provider. Are we going for 12 months on that?
Yeah, it'll be 12 months.
That'd be $720 if I
Don't, yeah, I have to.
You get too much free if you buy it by the year.
It could be something like that.
That'd be good.
Then the numbers don't work.
I like that.
It's there.
Yeah, it's fair. You buy a year, you get 2
Yeah,
free.
that's about the actual
That's the
paraphernalia.
whistles and
About 83% of the increase, I'm really rounding up. 83% of the increase is just in those 3 months. I have a lot of confidence in the chief's expertise, knowledge, and the presentation of this. And I do believe that you can make a case to justify an increase. I'm really reticent to approve the 17.75% increase.
Well, initially, when we went to the Board of Finance, we talked about, we looked at the concept of building the department 5 people. So, we look at those figures, what's realistic, what can you phase in over time? And, you know, that's sort of what we're gonna look at.
And I realize they also stated to you, present your budget. I realize that. I mean, I heard that a lot.
Yeah, exactly, so. I think this will, you know, we have the direction where we want the department to go. You know, some of the problems we've had in the past, and what is going to rectify that in a relatively short amount of time. You know, you can have a plan over a 5-year, 8-year period, or you're gonna try to do it as quick as possible, you know? So, and there's no doubt that's a significant increase.
But your costs will go up in 5 or 8 years too.
Excuse me?
Your costs will go up in you wait 5 or 8 years. Third of budget part at the beginning.
You know, the reality is, we're providing most minimal basic services with our current staffing. And
What, With a pushback here though, we haven't had full complement of sworn officers for a long time.
Well, we were close, we were at 24, 25.
Well, we
So-
we've never had the captain.
That's right, you never had a
Never had
captain.
the detective.
Correct.
And for the last 2 years,
We're missing a sergeant.
the sergeant and the other one. So it's been a long time since we've been at full. And I can see the Board of Finance and others pushing back a lot harder than I am right now. I'm not going to vote against this budget, the way it stands, but I'm not voting for it. I really think it's too much. I'd phase in the lieutenant with January 1st. Maybe phase in the second unit officer too. And that can go deeper than that, but I don't know at this time.
I think the second officer is phased in.
Right, but there's two
Right.
new ones.
Two.
A new one July 1st and a new one January 1st.
Right.
I would phase them both in.
Mhm.
I'd phase all 3 new positions in on January 1st. July, whatever, halfway through the year, January.
January.
Yeah, January 1st.
Well, my feeling is we need that this personnel is kind of a minimum that we need. We probably need more, but it's not realistic that we're gonna achieve that. So, we gotta push something now, if there's a pushback from the Board of Finance, I can understand that, but I think, the board here, where do we wanna see the department to go? Where do we wanna see it go? And what do we need to get there? I think that's obviously, it's a good amount of money, there's no doubt about that, but I think it's a necessary evil, per se, to get where we wanna go.
As I said,
So,
no, I didn't say these words, but basically, I can see both sides. Like I said, I've got confidence in you, you expect all that. I can't go along with 17.75, so I won't vote for it, but I won't vote against it.
I think the chief would be remiss if he didn't ask for what he needed and thought that filled the reason for telling him to turn it around from where we were, that he could have done the right, he's done that, he's put us on the right track. He's pointing the way, and he's telling us what we need, and I have full confidence in his professional expertise and his advice, and I think we should support it 100%.
I agree with you. I think, before the chief got here, you couldn't walk out this door and walk down Chestnut Street, 9:30 at night, feel safe and confident. There was people dealing drugs right out in front of St. Mary's Church. Ever since the chief got here, implemented the crime suppression unit, his tactics worked. I'm not naive, I don't think that the drugs have disappeared, but at least they're not right out in the open.
Well, he can't keep that going unless he's got a new part of it, and I think we need to support him, as I said, 100%.
Yes, we said we were upgrading, and we were upgrading, and this is what the cost of upgrading to a first-class department is gonna cost us, and before the Board of Finance, tell them that's what it's gonna cost.
It's
He
realistic.
wouldn't be able to
You want us, right, you want us to
I
support.
think there was a clear
first-class
mandate from the
operation.
board, from the commission, where we wanna see the department go to. And I think this is important, this is the recipe to get there.
I echo the feeling of the other members here, Kevin and Jimmy and Cunningham, and I say if there's gonna be any cuts, let the board do it. I think we should submit the budget as cheap,
Tell him
present it to
what
us.
it is and what we need.
And, yeah, if we're gonna straighten this department out, I say let's bite the bullet this year and do it.
Well, I think we're presenting a very realistic budget over here. I sort of go along with Dennis over here, 17.
It as it was. And the chief was able to implement this. Next year, if the Board of Finance thinks this wasn't the way to go, they can almost cut our budget. Unlike the Board of Ed, that once you give them the increase, you have to keep funding them at that level. So I think my pitch to the Board of Finance would be, hey, you know what? We've tried everything You know, we've tried to do it cheap. It's affected the town, it's affecting quality of life. You know, the crime rate is directly related to school performance. And I really feel that, you know, we're kind of at a stopgap here. We're at the fork in the road where we can, you know, we can be pioneers and stand up and support this budget.
Accept the budget that's been presented, those were those notations made. And that we presented to the Board of Finance.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Hey, did you wanna make your motion to record the retirements?
You know, okay, I wasn't gonna put it under, the commissioner's comments. The motion would be, to accept the resignation of the officers, who retired in, January, with regret, and thank them for the services they, did for the town of Windsor Locks for their many years of faithful service, et cetera, okay?
Could I ask you to add just, you put in resignation, put in for the purpose of retirement?
Yeah, okay, good, yeah, for the purpose of retirement. Good, I missed that, thank you, Dennis.